Yo, what's up? This is Justin Brunson, Ultra Meat and Cheese in Denver Central Market. I'm a meat guy. And you're listening to the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.
Okay, thanks. Here we are back at it, the Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio. Chef Elon Winslow, he's going to sit next to me right here. Co-host. Woohoo! Co-host. Have you ever heard of the Urban Farm at Stapleton?
I have heard of it, but I'm not too familiar
well,
with
here
what's
we go.
going on.
Right now, Joshua, how are you?
I'm doing great.
I like a guy that'll come in, see his name is misspelled on the board, take it upon himself, change it.
There you go.
That's perfect. How do you say your last name?
My name is Dykesler, Joshua Dykesler.
Good to see you, Joshua.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. We're learning about the Urban Farm. We had Michelle on here earlier, the executive director. What do you do there at the Urban Farm?
So what I do there is I help to run their aquaponics farm and their aquaponics greenhouse. And I know you're going to ask, what is aquaponics?
No.
Right?
I love it.
Right.
I love aquaponics and hydroponics as well.
Right. So let me just tell for everybody on the call, aquaponics is a combination of aquaculture, where you have fish and large fish kind of culture, and then hydroponics, where you grow plants without any type of soil.
Let me test you. There's some people out there said, I'm not doing anything unless it's in the ground. I need that soil. The minerals are going to be deficient. The nutrients are going to be deficient. You're not going to be able to mimic what good old Mother Earth would do for me in a hydroponic system.
Well, and that's why aquaponics is so fantastic, because what it does is it actually takes the microbiome and it allows you to use Mother Earth to use all of the nutrients that are coming out of those fish and then feed the plants. And the plants then create the most clean water for the fish. So if anybody out there has ever had a fish tank and you have this carbon that you put into the fish tank and you have all that gunk in there, all of that gunk actually goes directly into your leafy greens, it goes into your tomatoes, it goes into your cucumbers. And all of those things grow fantastically 12 months a year. And they grow in a very contained environment.
Controlled environment. I talk to the soil farmers, so that's just what soil farmers say to me, of course, because they're soil farmers.
Because they're soil farmers.
Absolutely. But I always say, and we talk about organic a lot of times. Elise, join the conversation.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So first of all the animals that we're talking about regenerative farming.
Uh-huh.
And the important part about that is that all these animals come through, and they all, we'll just call it what it is. They poop and they pee, and all the different species do the same thing. Yeah. This is no different. The fish poop and they pee, and the residual tea that you have is what goes into these plants. It's the nutrients for them. It's the vitamins, everything that they need to survive and sustain. Maybe they get a little bit more because of the surrounding soil that's in it, but the key ingredient is there. I'm
going to get a lot of email on this one, and I say it too, but
sure.
If you want to have true organic farming, a lot of times you say you're an organic farmer and you keep away from the pesticides, those types of things. But with the water supplies, you don't know what Farmer John's doing up the road with his water supplies. It's coming back to you. Aquaponics and hydroponics is probably one of the most controlled environments for anything that you want to do to know the integrity of what's in the system.
And this is what's the most fantastic thing about aquaponics is if you put any kind of poison inside of there or any type of thing that, takes out the pesticides, you're going to kill the fish. So you got to keep that cycle going. And that cycle then tells you that you have a healthy environment. So, you could make it up in other environments and maybe it doesn't work. But in a true aquaponics garden greenhouse, you're going to have a healthy environment, and those microbiomes are going to continue to create that nutrient and make those plants fantastic.
We have a friend in Montrose, Colorado, South River Aquaponics, and if you ever get an opportunity to tour that facility,
I would love
top
to.
notch. Want to come by and see your facility as well. You're handling the aquaponics portion of
aquaponics and aeroponics. We also use aero.
School me on the aeroponics.
Well, the aeroponics, we're not as I haven't spent as much time in that yet, but that's really where you're using a lot more of the oxygen to kind of drive the plants. So it's a tower-based system, and then that tower-based system builds things like arugula and other types of leafy greens that come out of that system.
Basil,
And basil.
Yeah, I mean, any plant really can grow like vertical,
Completely.
And so again, this water that they're using is tied into the fish that are living.
Well, in the aeroponics, we actually use a couple different chemicals inside of there, as compared to the aquaponics, which is where we're using the fish pieces.
I'm gonna learn more about that because I do want to learn more about that.
AERO is what it's called.
Oh, great. One of the things, and we'll go to you, Chef, I think it's kind of cool because I've seen these systems work, is one of the great things is when you have a different request is their ability to pivot quickly to get you certain things that you want to do and maybe even make a one-off. Just to your specs.
Right. Well, and especially now because this relationship is budding, and again, you know, we have that fundraiser that we're going to do, and I'm like, okay, here are all the ingredients I want you to grow, and like they're already growing a lot of them already, and now they're going to expand that, and so I would say I'm almost kind of like the test chef for them. I'm like, okay, here are the things that I'm interested in, and here are the things that I think other chefs will be interested in, and the thing that I've tasked, especially that Michelle with, and I'm like, I want you to grow things that no other chef can get. Like I want special plants, herbs, and things like that, especially like that are Italian. I'm going to get you these seeds. I want you to grow these for me because that's how most chefs are. We're just, as you know, we're competitive. And we don't want, you know, a Roma tomato that everybody else can get. We want something different. And so this is the thing that I'm, you know, yes, we're going to have these guys, I'm sorry, I'm speaking for you, I apologize. But, you know, basil, everybody loves basil, and they have an annual sale on these things, and tomato plants and all that kind of stuff. And those things are always needed, and those are wonderful. But I want to help them learn to do specialized food for these chefs that are, especially in the northeast corner of Denver, you know, Stapleton or
what do you
beyond.
do when there's like an ingredient that, like a hatch chili, you know, and you're like, I need to go to that region to have that. How do you counter that with growing it in your backyard?
You know, not yet in the farm, but we actually, in some of our other plants, we've already grown some hatch chilies. So we're kind of testing out some of that components. And the best thing about the urban farm is that we're an education system. So, you know, not only do we get to give you exactly what you need and your requirements, but we want the kids to come out and find out what the circle of life looks like. We want the kids to see how this works, right? So our motivation really is not just to kind of do a production-like plant. Our motivation is to teach kids, low income, and all kinds of kids in the northeast area how to make it so successful for them. I know, it's just a fantastic, and when we can connect with farmers, and we actually have connections with some of the Thai restaurants here as well, and really interesting types of plants, we can then do two things where we can do something unique and interesting, and then also have the kids be part of that environment, right? And then understand what that looks like, and you know, growing farmers is a fantastic thing in this world.
And what better face than Chef Elise Wiggins endearing this with, and that's
so
it's just,
excited.
It's going to send it into outer space, and it's going to be cool to see this project grow. And one of the things is it's going to take on its own life, and you got to be ready for that. Because Elise?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I'm going to keep circling back to the September event, and we can't talk specifics about a potential thing that's going to happen, but there's some big national players that are interested in doing a very special event, maybe a concert.
Can we conceptualize this dinner?
Let's
talk about what this could be. All right. And you have some colleagues here with you as well. Is Kim Downing in the house today?
Kim Downing is in the house.
Okay, I want to talk to Kim, and I also want to talk to Rachel Livingston. Is Rachel here?
Yeah, Rachel's here.
Okay, no rush, guys. We're going to take a break, come back so we can take a breath. Finish up. Tell me what else you'd like us to know.
No, I just think that, you know, the urban farm is really about kind of making this just so unique and interesting for the kids. And, you know, doing that in conjunction with the local kind of hyper-local farming is a fantastic opportunity.
Amen, brother. We really want to come to the facility. Chef Elin, what was your take on what you heard there?
Well, I heard educating the community and making local global almost.
Done.
Right?
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
Sounds great.
Okay, Kim Downing, she's front and center. We'll take a break. We'll come right back. This is cool. We're going to kind of mind if we put this dinner together in the next segment?
Let's do it.
I know.
Let's do it.
Have all the components here in the room.
I know, we've got boudin balls now. We got to talk about grade A
all
and
right.
buckets crawfish.
The party's just starting right now. Okay, we'll break off. We'll come right back. This is cool. Little Rich is in the Little Rich corner. He's going to do a little breakaway interview. We'll come back to the kitchen in just a minute. What else do I have to promote? TheModernEater.com. Jay, you're doing a great job of getting a lot of good content up there. If you ever want to catch up on all the past episodes, that's where you can do it, TheModernEater.com. Breakaway, come right back. The Modern Eater Show on iHeartRadio.